this episode of Bali Marine Life, you'll encounter many critters at Manta Point. Hello underwater friends, this is Kim from Bali Marine Life. And in this video, you're going to get to go on manta ray encounters and a lot more. Today I went diving at Nusa Penida off the coast of Bali. We left Sonora on a dive boat and rode for about an hour to a dive site called Manta Point. There we encountered so many manta rays on the first couple of dives that I will not even try to count how many we saw. Manta rays are in the same family as eagle rays, and there are two species. This is the reef manta ray that you're observing, and there's also a pelagic manta ray. Manta rays are filter feeders. They swim through the water, filtering out zooplankton, which is tiny little floating animal plankton. You can tell when they're feeding because they have cephalic fins, which are fins on their head, and when they're feeding, those fins curl up and help channel the water into their mouths. And they also swim with their mouths open so that when they're feeding. Unlike other stingrays, which I talked about in another video, these types of rays don't have mouths on the bottom. They have mouths that are in the front of their head. And they have spiracles, but they don't use the spiracles. They're vestigial, meaning they have to keep their mouths open when they swim. So they're constantly moving, except that sometimes, and the last time I dove here, sometimes you can see them stationary when they stop at the reef to get cleaned by smaller fish like butterfly fish and wrasses. But they can't swim backwards. They just slow down or sort of stop, and then when they're done being cleaned, they just move forward and keep swimming again. They swim with their large pectoral fins that are flapping. You can see right here, they're very pointed. And unlike other stingrays that I've talked about in the past, they don't have a stinger. They actually have a spine on their tail, which is whip-like, but it doesn't actually do anything. Again, it's vestigial. It means it doesn't have a function. They don't really need a stinger because they don't really have many predators. Due to their large size, their only real predators are sharks and humans. And in the case of the pelagic manta rays, their predators could be killer whales as well. Why humans, you ask? Well, I said that they were filter feeders. They have amazing things called gill rakers, which filter out the zooplankton that they eat. Those gill rakers are collected for Chinese medicine. And that's just one of the reasons that they're threatened by humans. They're also hunted for food. Now, in Indonesia, luckily, there is a moratorium on fishing for the mantas because they realize their economic importance for tourism. At Manta Point, we thought that a small manta ray was coming toward us. Then we realized, wow, it's a spotted eagle ray. Remember how I said that mantas are in the same family as eagle rays? Except that eagle rays have a few differences. They actually feed on the bottom. They eat mollusks and crustaceans and things that they can stir up from the sand. And also, they differ in that the spotted eagle ray does have venomous spines at the base of its tail. And look how much spinier and stiffer its long tail is, as opposed to the whip-like tail of the manta ray. Now, stingrays, manta rays, and the ray I'm about to show you all have what's called counter shading. That means they are darker viewed from the top, and they're lighter when viewed from the bottom. This helps them blend in with their ocean environment. I was actually just filming this unicorn fish, which I thought was really cool, when all of a sudden a blue-spotted stingray swam right in front of me. This is exciting because I'm used to seeing them on sandy bottoms, and you can view my other video where I talk about the blue-spotted stingray. This is another benthic type of ray. It's in a different family, Daisiatidae, than the other rays I've been showing you. Our last encounter was also a fish, but this time you're going to get to see the largest bony fish in the world. We've been looking at fish made of cartilage, and this fish is made of bone. It's called the Mola or ocean sunfish. It's actually part of the plankton in that it can't swim against the currents, it just drifts along with the currents. It mainly feeds on jellyfish. This is an exciting thing to spot. It was down pretty deep because it was going to a cleaning station along the reef. It's stopping to be cleaned by little bannerfish and such, and then it'll just mosey off to go back to its pelagic environment. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please subscribe to my channel, Bali Marine Life.